Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to your daily lighting critique. Today we've got a couple videos that we're going to start with, and then we'll hop over into the still images. So Brenda, lighting still looks great on it. We've got the dust particulates. I like the speed. I think that's looking really good. I think that you've got them in the light rays and darker in the shadowy areas. I think that's good. I just think we need to pull back on that contrast a little bit. Like I want to see a little bit more in here, and I like the value in the lit areas. I just maybe just lift up the darker areas, and I think everything else is good.
Okay.
Yeah. This feels like something that could just loop in the background of, like, you put on a screen at a dinner party or something and it just loops back there. It's good. It's beautiful. All right, anything else on this one, guys? All right, cool. All right, Kat. Let's take a look here. Jim is just step through.
He's got actual clothes finally.
Yeah. He's got them blue jeans on. Let's see. Yeah. They're pretty. All right, so let's start off here. Okay, so out of the gate, got this shining in here. I would soften the edge of this, because I just want it to feel a little bit like, because it feels a little theatrical, like this. We want it to have that sense without like the direct spotlight feel. So we just kind of want to soften that intensity a little bit, and then same thing here. I think we can soften these lights a little bit too, those shadows just a little bit, because I like the way that one is looking, and I like just having, you know, kind of rolling with it, because this little light back there is good. The other thing about him standing in this pool of light, we might have to add an bounce light underneath him, like an area light right here that kind of comes up, because like part of standing in this pool of illumination is that that it's not only about the key light, it's about the bounce light too, the secondary effects of that. And I'm just not quite feeling that as much on him as I would expect. Like same thing with her. Like this is pretty dark under here, and I would just expect to see a little more bounce. And now that might be the shader. I don't think so, because you're not going to get that much subsurface in there. I think it's more about the secondary bounce light going on.
I have a bounce card on there that I've been turning on and off because I think it makes it too bright here. So I can shrink the bounce card and just put it in that spot instead of the whole scene. I just kind of put it on the whole scene just to see how it all balances out, but I'll just shrink it.
You'll need to pocket those to the areas of that the main light's hitting. He gets crazy inside of his mouth. Like that's strange that is that bright.
It's because I think the light that I have, I was messing with the cast shadows, and I have them turned off at the moment because I was trying to fix something else. So I'm just going to put cast shadows back on, and that should fix it.
Yeah, make sure your lights are casting shadows. That'd be good. That's good.
I noticed that when I was running through, I was like, oh dear.
Yeah.
But I fixed the blue light on the other side. That was where he was jumping up and the blue light was coming through. I turned that light off, so we're good there.
Got it.
I didn't need it.
Got it.
That's why her eyes are all super glowy too. Is that one light I think is hitting her weird?
Okay. Yeah, that was going to be a comment. What is causing? Do you know what's causing this, like, these like hard shapes on his hand? Like it might just be the geo.
I have been trying to figure that out. Yeah, you know what I think it is, because I had to do it with her face, because you know a lot of times with the animation they have like the 2 layers of geo. Then I think I need to subsurface the one. I subsurfaced the main one. I think I need to subsurface the one on his hands, because her face was doing the same thing. And then I realized I hadn't subsurfaced the top layer of geo, because like the animation sometimes there's 2 layers or whatever. So I'm gonna try that today, because it's not on his whole arm. It's just certain parts. So.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other areas that I could focus on right now.
Do you like how it looks with all the blue light coming in from the skylights now?
It's like focusing just on the environment. I think the environment looks pretty good. There's some areas that are just like that I want more shader work done on, like this up here. This just feels like a gray Lambert a little bit, and so I'd encourage you to put like maybe something more concrete or just like whatever, like to just define that surface a little bit more. And then let's see.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's the same shader I have on the other black concrete, so maybe I'll just adjust it for that part, see if I can separate out that mesh or something.
Yeah, it's just because there's no bump on it or like there's no specularity. It just feels like it feels like a darker version of the default, like a default Lambert. But
okay.
and it's just because we're seeing so much specularity on all the other stuff. And then I mean, okay. I don't want to go too crazy with it because like I said, I do think that like, you know, as in the final version, like we're so focused on the extreme foreground that we'll have to put some of that background out of focus. So I'm not too concerned about it. It's just that, yeah. And then in terms of, so yeah, we're gonna good.
I have a depth of field node on there right now. I can tweak it more later.
It's really, I mean, it's really just about
make the background look more focus. Yeah, it's subtle, but I didn't want to mess with it too much right now.
Yeah, I mean, because it's really going to be like the depth of field is going to be something you're going to have to like. It'll take a while to flush it out because it's like, you know, it'll be focused on the like the badge here, and then we follow the badge until he swipes past it. Then it's kind of our focus is on the two of them, so making sure they're in focus. Now it's like on him, and it racks closer to camera, so now the background will be really out of focus, and like it'll just be following the action, right, throughout, which is pretty tricky to do. But it'll really kind of sell it up because this is like the type of shot in a live action film that you practice for days and then you shoot it. So the camera operator, there's like the person who just pulls focus. That's like their only job.
Right.
So that's kind of thing. So I am. So I keep looking at the shaders on the character too as being pretty like her especially, just like as being pretty simple and like.
Yeah, I don't have like an actual. Yeah.
Just and I just
basically change the color. So.
Yeah, because like even when you have a simple character, like you don't. It's generally going to be very, very difficult to light them if you have just like a base shader on their skin, you know, because skin is dynamic. It's specular in some parts and not specular in other parts. The lips are very different than the other areas of the face. Like skin color, it isn't consistent across an entire body, regardless of the individual. Like. There's areas where there's more blood flow. There's areas where there's more bone density. So anytime that you have a character, and like I said, even looking at simple characters like from, just watch Soul. Like Soul, the characters don't have it's not like photo real, but there's a lot of detail in that skin. So so I'm wondering if it wouldn't be worth it. And again, this is totally based on what you want and like the schedule on this and like how much time you want to spend. But I would almost try and do a little bit more detail on the skin. For them, but I don't know. Let me open it up a little bit. What are you guys seeing? What are you guys thinking? That could at this stage, because like I said, we're still playing.
Do you want me to?
Oh, sorry, I got delayed. I think Kat might be a little bit on a delay.
Yeah, I don't know. My system's cutting in and out, but
it's okay.
I can actually put a shader material on her outfit too, because I just haven't done that yet. I've just put a little bit of bump on it, but I haven't actually put an actual material on it
let's
too.
Do that. Let's do that as our next iteration, just to kind of focus in on trying to get the character shaders a little bit more robust, and then also like some of these set pieces, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, let's hop into some still images. And at any point during these, feel free to just hop in and interrupt me if you guys have have comments. So let's start with Austin. So we have this is the newer version. We have the previous one. Actually, let's just layer these together. So we can like more quickly see the changes. And then we, just as a refresher, here is our reference images. So we've got the pool, light coming in through the window, overall brightness, feeling the sense of a very, very large space. So previous version updated. The ripple on the water, I think, looks really good. I think that, it might be a little bit strong. I maybe pull it back just a touch, but I think the effect of it is working really well. The chair scale surprisingly makes a bigger difference than I anticipated. It makes the whole, like, you don't realize it, but you're kind of paying attention in this little area as kind of a scale indicator for me, even more than the individual on the diving board, which is funny, I guess, because I don't know, it's just because it's right next to the big window. From the lighting standpoint, I like that this is toned down. I like that. Let me actually look at the reference here. It's interesting to me because in my head, this wall would be brighter than it is, but I guess it's pretty far away from the window, so that makes sense. I like that these two lights are playing together. For the lighting setup, it does make sense that the shadows here are a little crazy. It's just the way it looks in these big spaces because you've got all these lights coming in from different directions. The thing that I would do for the next iteration is I think that the character overall could come up a little bit in value. I think more like in the midtones, just maybe something along, let's get the darks in there though. Like something along this line, just to maybe feel a little bit more light bouncing around in there. And I wonder if overall, I'm just gonna play with something real quick. And I wonder if overall, the scene can get a little bit brighter too. Just take this off for now. It depends on the mood that we're trying to create, because again, this is literally just like adjusting the exposure of it. So if we want it to feel like a brighter, airier, I don't want to just use the word happy, but like a more calming, inviting space, I would say let's bring up the exposure a little bit. If you're trying to make it less than that, then I would say let's take it down. And then additionally, you've got some really, really nice glow on this window. And I wonder if we couldn't add a little bit more just around these light sources, because right now they're just kind of like feeling like perfect rectangles. And just kind of like, it's like blurring that edge just to kind of smudge them a little bit to feel like they're kind of glowing lights a little bit. And I wonder if, let's look at this reference. I guess we don't see any of them. No, we kind of see this one here. Yeah, I was wondering if we saw any detail in the light itself, because in my head, when I look at a fluorescent light, I can see stuff, but in a photograph, it doesn't really come through. But that's pretty much it. I will open it up. Are you guys seeing anything else? Is there maybe desaturating these? And I guess this is just because I did a tweak, but maybe desaturate the banners up here a little bit. Just because there's not, like, seeing the yellow on this stuff, it's not quite as saturated as that. Maybe just pulling it back so it's in the color space of everything. But yeah, I think it's looking great otherwise. I'll like I said, anybody got any other thoughts on this?
Yeah. No, it looks good.
Yeah.
Just the lights, the way the lights are on the very top, if that's like an issue with the model.
Yeah. Yeah, this model isn't the absolute best, but it's really good for practice, and it's good for this type of space, which you don't normally get, which is like interiors. You see a lot of homes, like bedrooms and stuff, and you don't like dealing with this like large ceiling and larger space is really it's hard, and you're doing a really, really great job with it. You're making it look very, very easy. So good job. All right. Yeah. All right, let's hop over into Brenda's. So we actually have, so we had the other one in the film. This is our first look at this alley scene. So your reference is great. It's actually pretty similar to what we saw from the attic scene as well, in that it's very painterly, in that it's very much about like what our eye sees. Like this shadow value is very lifted, versus like I shouldn't say it not just is lifted. It's brighter than you would see it in a photograph, which is really cool to play around with. And I like and your color palette is pretty similar too. So lots of not super saturated colors, like bold colors, but not necessarily saturated, which I think is nice. And that is translating over really, really well. I would encourage you, because the sky is super cyan. I would really like to see more cooler tones in the shadows, like really kind of play that up. More like this one or this one. I think it looks really good. And then I would also slightly soften the shadows a little bit, just because like it's a little bit like this length of shadow makes it feel like it's a little bit later in the day, and they start to get a little softer around that time period. And then the other thing that I want you to work on with this is right now, and this is a thing with this asset, is that by default everything comes in very matte. Like there's not a lot of specularity in things, and so I would push you to just see if you can get some, because like the paint on buildings sometimes has like a satin look to it, and it has a little more specularity. Like the bucket, the metal on it would, this glass would, there'd be some in the pipe, and these pipes, and this, and these railings. Just infusing the scene with a little more specularity too would be good. Does anybody else have any thoughts on this? I think it's looking really good. It's a really, really strong start. All right, next up we have Keven. Oh, sorry, somebody was gonna say something.
I know. I was just gonna say I really like the colors.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's like a nice. Pretty. Yeah, it's like a really nice overall feel to it, which is working really well. Keven, this is looking good. I think. Yeah, I think the position of this light's working better. I'm wondering, how do we do this? So the fill light on the screen left side is now that we've lost some of the key light, this area of her face starts to feel a little bit flat, and I almost think that we should pull back the fill value to allow it to go a little darker on that side.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I think so.
Because when I pulled the light around to make that rim light side, it did something weird to her face where I think it might be something with the subsurface where it was kind of almost like popping through and her eyes get all weird.
Oh, weird.
So I'm trying to figure that out.
Because in my head, the lighting on her should be, there's like the tighter rim light on her here, and then like a warmer fill that kind of only hits this side of her face, and then cooler fill on this side that goes from lighter here and then kind of gets darker on this side. But yeah, it's just like, and I think it's all kind of working on the right side, but then once we get over to the left, it's just like the value starts to decrease and then it just kind of stops. But it might be a shader thing, so I'll let you look into that. And then a dumb one is just flipping the eye dings over to the other side, so it's more reflecting of this.
Okay. I try to look at the pedals because they were still doing that weird
crazy
slapping thing, and I'm like, I don't know a lot about animation, so I can't really figure out.
Don't worry about it. It might have just been that.
These are.
Yeah, it might have just been that. When they were rendered with motion blur, they just disappeared because they moved so fast, and I didn't notice it. But I am flabbergasted that I know. It's amazing how long you can stare at something and not see things. So just so you guys know that, and when this flower was moving, the these leaves that are down here just started like flapping, like they were wings. And I was like, oh, that's really weird. And he's like, yeah, that's in the file. And I was like, no. So.
But in your video, in the course videos,
yeah.
It's not doing it.
Crazy.
It's super weird. Like I don't know where it.
I know less about animation than anybody, so I definitely did not fix it. So I would have just been like, oh no. I was like, I'd see it and be like, I gotta send this back to the animator. So yeah, so I think that those are the biggest things. Because like the lighting over here looks good. It's a little bright here. I would probably tone it down a little bit on the cabinet.
Okay.
But the shaping overall is fine back there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. All right, Ruby. All right, this is a similar color scheme to like Brenda's. It's nice and it's soft and it's feeling good. I do think that we can push a little more saturation on her skin. I think her skin's looking a little bit like the same way that we pushed it on the robot. I think we can push it on her. He's feeling more red. Yeah, and then also like her hair up here is starting to feel a little bit overlit. Like it's feeling a little bit like we're losing some of the brown value in there. So maybe just tone down the and it might just be if you have a crypto matte in the comp, just like darkening that and adding a little more saturation to it there as well.
Yeah, I wanted to have that. I didn't put the reference in this one, but in the reference it has like a. Since the sun is kind of shining too bright on her face, and the girl's face is like kind of blondie, but she's blonde.
Yeah, it's
it makes more sense, right?
No, it's true, and like it's hard when and then yeah, because then if you try and go for stuff like that, you end up just like losing the hero color a little bit.
Okay, got it.
Blonde kids, what are you gonna do? I mean, anyway, but the but and you were gonna add the droplets on the window, right? I would think that would be a good thing to add at this point too, because I think that'll kind of change the mood of it a little bit. Because I think the overall softness is looking really great. The eye position is looking better. I would just shift it a little bit to the right if you could, and maybe make the eye white area a little brighter too. Sorry, I know we mess with his eyes so much. It's so tricky. I'm sorry to keep making you go back and forth on it. But everything else is looking really good. Last time to open it up. Any other comments on this?
No, looks good.
Yeah, right.
There's that white line on the window, like right in between the robot and the girl, like right on the.
Oh, this like highlight down. Yeah. That's a really good call.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Ooh, I can't draw straight enough. That line, let's like try and take that down too, because yeah, it almost works as a barrier between them.
I have no idea what it is. I just saw it.
It looks like a little bit of a highlight on the edge of the window pane. Like there's like a little beveled edge, and it looks like it's just hitting right on that normal. Or maybe it's a matte line. I'm not sure. Just check it out. Make it darker. All right, cool. All right, well, great job, everybody. Happy Friday to all.
Mike.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. So, like I said, I will occasionally be checking in this weekend. Let me know if you have any questions. If not, the community is always there. Forrest and Diana are doing the community chat and chill tomorrow, I believe. Let me just check the time because I always forget. 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. And yeah. So
Mike.
Yeah.
Hi, Mike.
Hi.
Can I get a critique for my one as well, please?
Oh yes, it just got added there. Okay,
Thank you.
cool. No
Sorry.
problem. Let's make this bigger. Hold on, just one sec. Whoa, very cool. I'm not seeing it. I just want to make it bigger. Here we go. All right. Whoa. Very cool. Okay. So my first thought when like this is going off here, like that's nuts. And I expected it to hit the monster more than it does. Like this looks like it's happening in front of the monster, and then as the monster moves up this way, I was expecting it to really, really, really just go pop, 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 like on the side of him or her.
Okay.
And so I would expect a little more influence from that because like it's shining all the way back on these buildings, and or maybe is that a different light? I don't know. Yeah, because it looks like it's kind of hitting back there. So I would just have it have more influence on the character because that's more because it'll help amp up the mood, and less because it's technically what's right. It's more just like this energetic thing that's going on. It's a really cool thought. The whole building's going nuts back there. And then I would take down this brightness on the teeth here a little bit. And I think we can... Your eye looks good. I think we should play that. I think we should make the eye brighter. Because it's like bright back here. And then like that one's bright. The right one gets bright there for a second. But like this is the pose we want to see those eyes. So just jack those up a little bit. And then the drips on the camera are nice. Yeah, anybody else got any thoughts on this? Very cool stuff. I love the signs crack me up every time. Like this happens enough that they just like put up warning signs. It's so funny to me. I love warning signs in any context because it's like anytime you see a warning about something, you know that means it's happened not just like once before, but a lot before. And so you're like, anytime you see somebody get warned to not do something silly, it's like it's because it happens a lot. Small, super small thing, just because I was focusing in on it, that you want to watch out for, is like right here. This is like really toned down, and it looks like it might be because there's like some sort of like 2D vignette on it, and then as it pulls down in the middle of the frame, it gets much brighter. It might be because of the droplets on the frame, but if you're comping that darker up there, just you may want to clear it out. So it doesn't make that darker until it gets in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah, great stuff overall, though. I really like this.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, great. We will leave it there. All right, you all have a wonderful weekend. Like I said, post if you got them. Attend tomorrow, 3 p.m. right here on the Discord channel. Diana and Forrest will be going through more work. So if you can this weekend, they would love to see you there. All right, be good, everybody. I'll talk to you all very soon. All right, happy lighting, y'all.
Cool. Thanks, Mike.
Bye.
Bye.